The year is 1316 in Empires of the Middle Ages. We're seeing that what little attempt there was to bring France and Poland down kind of petering out largely. The English went and took Ireland, added a claim to it. After seeing the Norse are knocked out, I mean, they're still in the game, but they have no territory and they're having trouble getting back. So it's just a matter of time before they disappear unless something happens, like a dynastic inheritance or the like. Byzantines still struggling, still facing a magnate, and only really with Constantinople. The Italians didn't really do anything. The French held on to a lot of their cards, and thus didn't do much. The Germans raided Poland. The Poles, I think, tried to improve their economy, but their economy is beginning to falter. But then again, so is the German one. It's down to only Franconia with one. So everybody's bringing Europe down at this point. Briefly in 1316, because this is going to change very quickly, we had a magnate show up in Sicily, capture Puglia, and then die. The Italians probably going to be dealing with that. 1321, we had a couple of dynastic changes. Both the Germans and the Byzantines had leader die heirless events. For the Germans, it means their territory just continues to be whittled away. They lost Friesland now, and they've got not a terribly good leader at the end of that. It's painful. They moved their court to Franconia. They've got the big one buck there. And for the Byzantines also, their territory just keeps getting smaller and smaller. All those claims that they had that have been taken from them by the magnate are now no longer existent. They're just sort of this core section here. Their own leader, it's not bad, it's not terrible, but that two administration, that's what they really need right now. They did still hold on to Corsica, however. Both France and Poland, realizing that they're hitting late in the game, and it's not real late, but they're beginning to take the tendency that I see with the larger kingdoms in the smaller scenarios, which is, oh hey, I don't have a great leader. I'm going to win if nobody takes much from me, or I'm in the winning ranks. The best thing I can do, and this is what France has been doing for a little while since they were attacked, but even Poland's doing it now. The best thing I can do is hold on to my cards. Maybe play a couple of them, but hold most of them for defense because people are gunning for me. It's a kind of neat dynamic because the big empires are harder to rule anyway, and with less cards, it becomes really, really difficult to improve them tremendously. 1326, and we had the Swedes die heirless, and they've abandoned the game. They're hoping to come back as the Turks, really, and use the Turkish special abilities, which may at least give them something of value. There's a lot of wealth down in the Byzantine area. I've never seen that work out well with my special attempts to improve that situation. But the Byzantines are weaker than they usually are. The Grand Alliances pretty much have collapsed. Germany, well, one, with Sweden gone, Italy has decided to more or less pursue its own goals, and it advanced into Apulia, not into Sicily yet, to try to regain its claims, and then, or the territories it claims. And then it's going to go for the religious conversions because of the missionary fervor card, which is really a huge bonus anyway. Both Poland and France are definitely the leading powers right now. Germany and England are considering some sort of agreement to try to smash France at least and get what they can out of it. It's not really pleasing to either of them, but it's easier than fighting Poland, which actually holds stuff that is of value to them. They're just hammering that idea out. Maybe play for second or third, but right now they're in pretty bad shape. All right. 1331. Wow. So what happened? got a leader dies airless last turn. So this turn, yeah, the Swedes aren't in the game anymore. The magnate went away, so now they're just going to wait another magnate roll. When that happens, they get a chance to invoke sort of my version of the Turkish rules, which allow them, when they capture areas, to convert them as long as they're within 2 areas of Anatolia. And then they become both Turkish language and Muslim. That's a really, really powerful way to wipe the Byzantines off the map. And I don't think it's completely ahistorical, because there was definitely a large, strong Turkish movement at that point in terms of population. So it kind of allows the drift of population the way that I think it largely happened. Now, does it make sense in places like Armenia and Georgia? Maybe not. Certainly it does in Asia, Cilicia, Adrianople, maybe Constantinople. Trebizond, I know, held out for a long time, so that's more questionable. But anyway, that's what I'm playing with. It gives them a chance to do potent things, and it's really more potent than any other expansion ability that anybody has. All right, what else happened? Not a lot, really. The Italians picked Sicily back up with claim, and everybody was pretty much peaceful, building up their economics, including the Byzantines, who ended up with a reasonable leader. They lost their military ability, but at least they got Constantinople up to the +4 space again. All right. 1336, some unclaimed land got taken. The English went in and took Friesland after increasing their social states as high as they could, and the Germans grabbed Saxony. In both cases, claims were gotten. Some thought was put into attacking the Poles by the Germans, but they chose not to open up that can of worms at this moment. The Italians raised their social status everywhere, and then fortified Lombardy and Verona. That's about it. Not seeing much change over on the Byzantine front. 1341, and things kind of broke open. Let's look first down here. The Byzantines lost some territory. They had the French attacked Corsica and took it. And then there was a heretical revolt. Georgia went over, and Armenia followed suit, which wasn't Byzantine, but so now they're down to 4 areas only. Fairly wealthy now. However, where things really broke, Poles held 1 card. The French had gone already. Germany made the deal again with both England and Italy, and marched into Champagne, taking that. England marched into Normandy and Anjou, and the French, or the Italians, whose leader died airless, did follow up with their plan and attacked the Ile-de-France. Unfortunately, with all 5 cards attacking, well, they used 1 to roll Burgundy. So with 4 cards, they only got 2 successes, and France still exists, which means its pile of money is still in play. However, the Italian pile is bigger. France is on the ropes, and chances are they're not going to be on the board long. Well, they're not going to have their kingdom long, and nobody's going to support them. Poland and the Byzantines would be the only options, because they're the only ones not involved in this little divvying up of the French territories. So really their only hope is being able to transfer to another language group on a Leader Dies Airless card, which is one of my little optionals. Still in 1341, Italy's wealth has been largely expended, and France's entirely, but Italy managed to get Ile-de-France. That has knocked France off the map, and could well spell their doom for the game. Okay, 1346, and what did we have for a cleanup after the Italian conquest? The Germans tried to roll, ended up, I believe, with a Leader Dies Airless event. Definitely ended up with a questionable ruler. but tried to improve their situation. The English were looking at advancing deeper into France, but unfortunately when they tried ruling Anjou, they lost it in a revolt. So it's now neutral, which makes it a little easier for the French to come back into it. Of course, with no money, their position is pretty questionable. They spent their entire wad trying to defend that last space, just to make it as painful as possible on Italy.